Okay, so today I just thought let's talk about balancing work and business. I've had some people asking me to say, how do you manage to balance what you are doing on the accounting side and all the other stuff that you are running together with your Forever Living business? So I just thought, let me share a few pointers with the team. I know most of us are doing the business part-time, which means we have other commitments that we are working on. It might be a full-time job, it might be you are running another business on the side, and now you have to balance it out with also doing the Forever Living business as well. So I just thought, let me share a few pointers of how we can learn to manage our time and also to prioritize the right things in order for us to achieve the results that we want. So the first thing that I noted was have a schedule. So this helps you keep track of what you are doing and what you need to be doing. So for me, the first time it's you need to keep a log or to keep a record to see what you do every single day for you to then be able to see where can you maximize on the time that you have in a day. So if you are someone who has never done like a work plan or a schedule or a to-do list, you can start by just recording what is it that you do in a day. So you're just keeping track of, maybe you start with Monday and Tuesday. You just write down what is it that you're doing. If you're going to work, what time do you wake up? What time do you leave the house? When do you get to the office? What time do you knock off? Do you have a lunch time? What is it that you're doing during your lunch time? So the first 2, 3 days, it's just a matter of recording everything that is everything that you are doing throughout the day. So that gives you a picture of what is it that you do, what is important, what is not important, when do you have free time. So that then helps you to set up a schedule, maybe for the month or for the week. You are able to come up with a to-do list because now you know to say, probably I wake up at 4 a.m. every day. I wake up, I get ready for the 5 a.m. session. After the 5 a.m. session, sometimes I go back to sleep, or maybe you are getting ready to go to work, and then are you driving yourself or do you use public transport? How long are you sitting on your way to the office? And when you get to the office, what time do you get there? What time do you start? When is your lunch? All of that. So now when you have a picture, you probably know to say, this is how I can maximize my day, whether during the week or on the weekends. And it helps you now to put in timelines to say, okay, if I'm waking up at 4 a.m. and I'm getting ready for the 5 a.m. session, after the 5 a.m. session, probably I have a 1 hour where I go back to sleep, or where I'm just on YouTube or TikTok or whatever the case might be. It means when you're now creating your schedule, you know that, okay, between 5:30 and 6:30, I have a 1 hour that I'm not doing anything productive. So now you can then set up a to-do list for that time. Or when you're going to work, probably if you're using public transport, maybe it's a 40-minute drive, an hour, 30 minutes. You know that, okay, I have 30 minutes while I'm sitting in the taxi getting ready to get to work. So now you now start putting tasks for those times in between, because when you are working full time, it's very easy to feel like you don't have the time to touch your business because you feel like you are busy. But most of the time, we are busy doing things that are not productive, and we have small pockets of time throughout the day that we can actually maximize. So now you then sit and say, okay, when I'm sitting in the taxi on my way to work, I have 30 minutes. What am I going to use this 30 minutes for? Probably you're going to say, okay, you know what? I will go through my messages, reply to customers if there are orders. Maybe instead of watching TikTok videos, I'm going to post my products, do, your social media marketing material, all of that. Now you know what times can you do what, and then you are maximizing your productivity. Another thing in setting a schedule that I've noted is you need to wake up early. So wake up early and dedicate an hour to your side hustle before work. So for me, when I started Forever, I was still working full time. And then you would find that throughout the day, you are probably busy. You have tasks at work. You have to be talking to clients and all of that. You don't get time. And then your customers, they are waiting for responses. Maybe they have placed an order. You haven't seen the message. You get home late. So if you wake up early, it gives you time to, if you know that, okay, I normally wake up at 5, I attend my 5 a.m., I bath, I go to work, try to wake up maybe 30 minutes or an hour earlier if you can, so that you wake up, you do all the replies, you're checking. You're checking orders from yesterday, messages, inquiries from customers, you do your posting, and by the time you're leaving the house, you're going through your day doing what you need to do. Your customers, they are already seeing your posts on your social media. You've already responded to people that you need to respond to. If it's your team, probably you've already sent them messages. Maybe you've agreed on doing something as a team, all of that. So waking up early also gives you a little bit of time to dedicate to your business before you start getting busy. And you'll find while you are busy, your business is running on its own, because by the time people are waking up at 6, at 7 and checking their statuses and their messages, you've already done your posting, your marketing, you've already sent them messages. So that is another way of maximizing on your schedule. Wake up at least 30 minutes earlier than you normally do, so that you can dedicate that time to touching your business. If you're someone who uses public transport, that time that you are seated, don't be scrolling on YouTube and doing things that are not productive. Maximize that time to speak to your customers, to speak to your team, and do what you need to do for your business. And then take advantage of small pockets of time. For example, instead of spending your lunch hour on social media or chit chatting, use that time to work on your hustle. So if you have sent out messages and you've done posts and all of that early in the morning before you go to work, now you have a 1 hour lunch. While you are eating, you can probably go check your messages. Do you have any messages from customers? Are there any inquiries on what you've posted on your social media? All of that, you are replying your messages. Because you find most of the time when you are at work, if it's like lunch hour, maybe people are chit-chatting, or you are on social media just watching videos and all of that. But you can actually use that time for your business, to reply messages, to check on your post, to check on your social media and all of that. Then another thing is take advantage of the weekends. So you'll find that if you're someone who's working full time during the week, you might not have time to do presentations. Maybe you get home late, or you're too tired to be doing presentations. after work, all of that. But you can maximize and take advantage of the weekends. If you are not going to work on a Saturday, probably that's the time for you to schedule your one-on-one meetings, your face-to-face presentations, your meeting, your meetings with your team. So maximize on the weekends for the things that you are not able to do during the week. Then you schedule them for the weekend. Another thing is eliminate distractions. When you have time set aside to work, you need to be working during that time and not perusing the internet or watching YouTube videos. For me, that was one of my major distractions. I don't know what takes up your time. What is it that you do during your free time? I just made an example of something that I myself had to work on, and that was social media, especially scrolling on TikTok and Instagram. So when you now know that, you know what, this is what distracts me, my solution was, when I decide to say this 1 hour, I'm giving it to my business, maybe what I do, I switch off notifications on my phone so that I don't have incoming messages that are going to distract me from what I'm doing. Or maybe leave your phone in another room and focus on what you're doing. Turn off the TV, block some websites. And sometimes you have to unfollow certain people as well, because you find that probably you want to work, and then now you are receiving these jokes. You find yourself scrolling. Before you know it, 2 hours have passed and you are on your phone. So if you have something that you know that this is a distraction for me, you need to eliminate those things so that you are able to do what you said you will do in the time that you have allocated. Then time blocking. Time blocking, it's just you setting aside a certain amount of time to do one single task, and you just commit to doing that task. So you can say, I'm going to block out my schedule from 12 to 1. I will be making calls to prospects. So it means during that time, you are not doing anything else. You are just focused on making the 10 calls that you need to make in that day. And what that does is it helps you to get tasks completed. Because another thing that, that takes up our time is, instead of doing one thing, you focus on it and you finish that task. We are doing so many things at the same time. You are replying to messages while you are making calls, you are also posting. And then at the end of the day, you find you've spent 3 hours, but you haven't completed any of the things that you were working on. So time blocking is just setting up time to do a specific task until it's complete. If it's calls from 12 to 1, then you just sit during that time. You are not replying messages, you are not taking orders, you are just focused on making the calls that you need to make. That also helps you to keep focused and to make sure you're completing all the tasks. Then another thing that is very important when you are trying to manage your time between full-time employment and, side hustle, is taking care of your health. And this is important because it helps you to avoid being burnt out. When you are burnt out, you are not productive. So you don't have the energy. The body is exhausted. You don't know where to start. You can't focus. You can't do anything. So we have to make health a priority so that we have enough energy to work on both. So in as much as we would like to, put in extra hours and sleep late because I'm doing forever and I also have work, you will find that if you come up with a proper schedule, you might not need to always be working extra long hours that will lead you to be burnt out. So make sure that you are prioritizing your time accordingly, and then you are making time even for not just long hours of work, but also time for family, time for friends. Your body does need that to reset, to relax, spending time with friends, freeing up your mind where you are not working all the time. So finding that balance is very good for your health. It's tempting to work long hours to grow your side hustle, but consider what the trade-off may be health-wise. So make sure you are getting enough sleep, you are getting enough rest. If you are tired, that can hurt your productivity at work, and it can potentially endanger your day job as well. So if you put in too many hours all the time, you are exhausted. It does not only affect your side hustle or your extra income, it might also affect your main job, because now you are not as productive as you used to be. You're probably making a lot of mistakes, and that is your main income. So you just need to make sure that you are prioritizing your time correctly, so that you don't end up, in a situation where now you are losing your job because you are not producing. So finding that balance is very important. And once you get home from work, you may have zero energy to focus on your side hustle. So you need to prioritize. Put side hustle tasks on autopilot. This is very important, and I like leader Yolandi. She's always, teaching us about how we can automate some of these tasks so that you don't have to be doing them manually, especially if you are someone who has a full-time job. You want to automate some of these social media posts and some of the tasks so that you are not like using up all your time doing things that could be automated. And we have a lot of tools that we can use, especially the FLP 360. I really do like that. Yes, you might need to pay for the subscription for you to access some of the functions after 3 months, but it is a worthwhile investment, because on your FLP 360, what you can do probably over the weekend, you can set up your posts, schedule them to say, this one, it must post at this time on this social media account. All of that, you put a link, your customers are able to, go there and order their products online, have them delivered to their house. So you'll find that now you have reduced the workload of having to manage uh, physical deliveries, because now your customers are just ordering online and the products are being delivered to them. You don't have to spend an hour or 2 hours every single day on social media putting posts and all of that, because you can schedule them. So on your weekend, when you are free, maybe you have 2 or 3 hours, you can sit down and schedule all your posts for the week, and then the application is doing all of that for you while you get on with whatever other tasks that you need to do. So putting your side hustle on autopilot is just simply meaning to say you are getting your business to a point that it doesn't need you to be physically and manually doing everything all the time. So as an entrepreneur with a full-time job, it's impossible to do everything by yourself. That's why you need to automate some of the tasks. That's why you also need to train your team. If you are doing business part-time, you might not have the time to always be the one doing all the presentations for the team every single time. So what do you then do? You duplicate by teaching your team to say, you know what, let me focus on these 1 to 3 people, teach them to also do presentations, so that on the days that you are busy and you are working, there is someone in the team who is able to lead the presentations. There is someone in the team who is able to train on a certain topic. But if you try to do everything all by yourself, you find yourself burning out, and then you find yourself probably even quitting, because then it becomes too much to manage your work, your social life, and the business. So automate some of the tasks. You can automate by using applications. You can also automate some of the things by just teaching your team how to be independent and how to do stuff on their own. Yeah, so that FLP 360, I do recommend that you do get that. It's a very good tool for automating your tasks. And there is a training that was done. I think there was a recording. I'll check if I still have it. But we did get a training in terms of how does the system work? How do you schedule posts? How do you get a link for your customer to place an order online? All of that will also be helpful. Then you don't have to worry about doing things manually. Then there is always this one. This one will always come up everywhere on every presentation. Remember your why. Staying focused on why you started your side hustle is what will keep you motivated to continue working on it, even when you are exhausted or feeling like you are stuck. So just remember why you started your business. And for me, what works is when you have a side hustle, it's to create an income goal. So we write goals in terms of case credits, in terms of I want to buy a car, I want to what, all of that. We do write that. But creating an income goal, I find keeps me motivated, because when you have an income goal, you're probably saying, this week I want to make 2,000 rand from sales. So that keeps your mind motivated, and it keeps your brain open to the idea of making money. So always remember your why when you are scheduling, and when you feel like, no, I can't be doing business this weekend because I want to go out and party with my friends. Remembering why you started the business will help you in terms of how you are going to then prioritize the tasks that you need to do. Let me check. I see there is a message in the chat. Okay, so that was my last slide in terms of balancing your work and balancing the business side. So make sure that as we are starting the month of March, we do have goals. We've done our volume mapping, but also let's come up with a schedule, come up with a plan on how you are going to prioritize your time in this month. How much time are you going to allocate to your business, and focus on making sure that you do that. Sometimes we create all these schedules, we have a to-do list, we know what we need to do, but then we don't end up doing it because we are not blocking out our time to focus on our businesses. So I hope that helped someone. I don't know if there are any comments. Let me allow people to unmute if people want to make an addition, make a subtraction. I'm just allowing you to unmute. If you are not comfortable to speak, you can also just use the chat box.